An unconditioned response is a natural, automatic reaction to a stimulus that occurs without any prior learning. It is an instinctive behavior triggered by an unconditioned stimulus, meaning it does not need to be taught or conditioned. This concept is a key part of classical conditioning, where responses can later be associated with new stimuli through learning. Unconditioned responses are essential for survival, as they help organisms react quickly to important stimuli such as food, danger, or physical sensations. Since they happen naturally, unconditioned responses are different from learned behaviors, which require experience and repetition. Now let's look at some examples of unconditioned responses in everyday life. One common example of an unconditioned response is salivation, when food is placed in the mouth. When a person eats something tasty, their body automatically produces saliva to help with digestion. This reaction does not have to be learned because it is a natural function of the body. The presence of food, which serves as the unconditioned stimulus, triggers this response every time. Even animals, such as dogs, show this response when they see or smell food, which is why early experiments in classical conditioning use this reaction as a starting point for studying learned behavior. Now let's explore another example of an unconditioned response. Another example of an unconditioned response is the knee-jerk reflex. When a doctor taps a patient's knee with a small rubber hammer, the leg automatically jerks upward. This response happens because the nervous system is wired to react to sudden pressure on the knee tendon. Since the movement occurs without any learning or training, it qualifies as an unconditioned response. This reflex is often tested in medical exams to check the health of the nervous system, as it provides insight into how the body processes sensory information. Now let's look at a third example of an unconditioned response. A third example of an unconditioned response is pulling a hand away from a hot surface. If someone accidentally touches a hot stove, their body reacts immediately by pulling their hand back to avoid injury. This reaction is instinctive and does not require thought or learning. The unconditioned stimulus in this case is the heat, which triggers the automatic withdrawal of the hand. This type of response is crucial for survival, as it helps prevent burns and other injuries by allowing the body to react before a person has time to consciously process the danger. Now let's compare an unconditioned response to a conditioned response. While an unconditioned response happens naturally without learning, a conditioned response is a reaction that develops through experience and association. In classical conditioning, an originally neutral stimulus becomes associated with an unconditioned stimulus, leading to a learned response. For example, if a dog hears a bell every time it is fed, it may start to salivate at the sound of the bell alone. The salivation in response to food is an unconditioned response, while the salivation in response to the bell is a conditioned response. The key difference is that conditioned responses require training and repetition, while unconditioned responses happen automatically without prior learning. Understanding this difference helps explain how learning and behavior are shaped by both natural instincts and experience.